Hello, Driving Intelligence community. Why am I dressed up today? I went to a pretty cool presentation today on the military, and I thought, why not show you guys I can dress up a little bit? Anyway, one of my viewers asked if I could do a video specifically focused on restoring the leather on the armrest on one of these center consoles that we've used in our 10th generation trucks. Now, this doesn't just apply to the F150. Any vehicle with leather or vinyl can be improved through this process I'm going to show you in this video. I went to a junkyard and picked up a pretty trashed console lid, brought it home, and this video is going to show you how I go from soup to nuts restoring this thing completely. And actually, I'm going to list it for sale on eBay when I put this video out, so that'll be linked in the description of this video, as well as all the products that I've used. So let's take a look at how this thing can become brand new again. Stay tuned. I put some leather King Ranch seats in my truck, and I had a basically a light gray or dark gray console lid here, and I wanted to accent my truck. So when I refinished these seats to make this truck look much better, because I got these seats out of the junkyard, I went ahead and used the same leather tanning material or leather dye on the console lid. Now this was a light tan, and you can see how this turned out. It turned out fantastic. It looks like it came from the factory like that. Super easy. So let's get started. I pulled this lid out of the junkyard a few days ago, and I wanted to make sure I found one where the leather is completely intact, but you can see that the finish on the leather is terrible. So you want to make sure, first of all, that you've got a good surface to work with. I like to completely disassemble these console lids so it looks very professional. I don't want any of the dyes running off of the leather onto the plastic. Real simple on the Navigator Expedition lids. You just want to take out these screws around the perimeter, unscrew the latch, unscrew the hinge, and that allows you to take this base off. With the base off, you can see that the leather, if you need to re-leather this lid, you can get that stuff on maybe Amazon. I'll link it below if I can find it, but also you can get these off of eBay. And you can see it's stapled on, so you'd have to pull all these staples out and reattach the new leather cover on top with either glue or staples. And obviously, if you've got problems with the foam underneath this, you want to use some thin foam to make sure it's supple like it was from the factory. Now, the first thing I noticed when I took this apart is that two of the attachment points for the screws were broken. I've got those. And what I'm going to do is use some JB Weld and re-weld these on and clamp them down so they stay perfectly vertical, so I can reattach the lid later on when I'm finished. And since this is non-load bearing, we're not going to have a problem with that pulling away. But you want to make sure the plastics are cleaned and no grease, no oil, so that you get good adherence with the JB Weld. All right, so first up, I've JB Welded these on, and I'll link the JB Weld I used in the description of this video, just like I will with all the products. And I'm going to let that set for 15 minutes because it's a 15-minute setup time, and we'll move on to the next step. The two-part epoxy is set up, and these posts are never going to move again, so don't have to worry about that. Now, I want to prep the leather for the dye, and there's two things that I want to do first. The first is to smooth out some of these rough edges with, or rough areas on the leather with some sandpaper. Just use some light sandpaper to clean it up a little bit. That'll also help with the adhesion of the dye. And you also want to make sure it's thoroughly clean with Simple Green. This is an easy concentrated cleaner. Get that all cleaned off, let it dry, and then you can apply the dye. The dye I'm going to use is from Seat Doctors. I don't get any money back from them. They don't sponsor me at all. I just really thought it was a great product I used on my truck. I showed that at the beginning of the video. I'll also leave a link to their website in the description of this video. Coat's been applied. It's really starting to look good. I'm using a chamois and applying the dye by rubbing it in. I'm going to do that until I get the color consistency I want, and then the final coat is going to be more of a dabbing of that dye on the leather to make it look as much like leather as possible instead of something that's been brushed. The base coat is applied, and you have to admit this is a completely different animal now. It looks 100% better than it did coming out of the junkyard. To close this out, I'm going to apply some satin top coat, and this will protect it from grease, oil, sweat. So let's get started. I'm going to apply it the same way I did the base coat. First, I'm just going to rub it across. With the die completed, now it's just a simple process of reassembling the console lid. And here we are, one fully restored console lid. I trust you found this very useful, and I hope as a result you'll give me that thumbs up, and I'll see you next time on Driving Intelligence.